You just had the best first date of your life. The conversation was incredible. You both laughed. The vibe was insane. So why is the silence afterward crushing you? 99% of guys completely fail right here. They either spam her phone with needy texts that totally kill the attraction, or they play these weird, passive games that just scream insecurity. But I'm telling you, there is a third option. A secret that the most magnetic men on earth use, sometimes without even knowing it. It's a 2,000-year-old philosophy that modern playboys use to create insane levels of intrigue after a date and make themselves completely unforgettable. This is the Stoic secret to post-date seduction, a philosophy we explore deeply here at Stoic Now. It all starts with one simple truth. The real game is not played on your phone, it's played in your mind. If this idea is already blowing your mind, we want you to join the conversation in the comments below as we go. Your perspective is welcome here. Let's be real. The 48 hours after a first date are absolute torture. Your brain goes crazy. Should I text her? What do I even say? She hasn't texted. She must hate me. Did I say something stupid? This little voice in your head, the one desperately searching for certainty, is literally destroying your chances. It projects this energy of neediness, like you're begging for her approval. The average guy thinks attraction is built by texting 24/7. He thinks if he doesn't constantly remind her that he exists, she'll just forget him. So he sends that, "Hey, had a great time," text an hour later. Then he waits. The minutes feel like hours. He checks his phone. Nothing. The anxiety is insane. So he sends another text, maybe a meme, maybe, "What are you up to?" He's trying to force a connection, but he's only communicating one thing: desperation. He's showing her that his emotional state is 100% dependent on her response. This is the complete opposite of attractive. Then you have the other guy, the one who plays games because he's scared. He heard about the 3-day rule, and he follows it like it's a military order. But his silence isn't confident, it's anxious. He's not out crushing his goals. He's literally just staring at his phone, begging for it to buzz. His silence isn't a sign of high value. It's a tactic that comes from the fear of looking needy. Both the chaser and the game player are starting from the same broken place. They think their value is decided by how interested she is. They're letting someone else decide their self-worth. This is where we change everything. Forget the modern dating gurus and their tactics for a second, and let's look at ancient philosophers who preached inner strength. The Stoics, absolute legends like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, were masters of the human mind. They knew that true power, true freedom, and as you're about to see, true attraction comes from within. They taught that most of our unhappiness comes from one simple mistake: thinking we control things we absolutely don't. A playboy, in the most powerful sense, isn't a man who manipulates women. He is a man who has mastered himself. His appeal isn't his pickup lines, it's the unshakable foundation of his own mind. He doesn't need her validation because he already has his own. This is not a tactic, it's a way of life. And today, we're unleashing the 5 Stoic secrets that create this magnetic presence after the first date. The first secret: master the post-date silence, the art of the void. The first and most powerful secret is mastering the post-date silence. I'm not talking about some anxious, game-playing silence, but a calm, powerful, confident void. After an amazing date, your brain screams at you to fill the space, to keep the conversation going at all costs. The Stoic playboy knows that attraction actually grows in the space between your interactions. He creates a vacuum, and human nature, especially curiosity and desire, hates a vacuum. Think about it. When you're available 24/7, you become predictable. You're just another boring text notification. But when you give her an incredible experience and then just pull back, you create a massive pattern interrupt. Her brain, which was loving the dopamine from your great conversation, suddenly has its supply cut off. It starts asking questions. Wait, I thought we had an amazing time. Why hasn't he texted me? He seems so confident and interesting. What is he doing? Your silence isn't a lack of communication. It is a form of communication. It screams that you have a life, you have a purpose, and your world does not revolve around her. It communicates insane self-control. This is pure Stoic wisdom. Seneca wrote that every emotion starts weak and gets stronger when you feed it. That impulse to text her for a reassuring reply? That's a weak emotion. By giving in, you let it become stronger. You become dependent. The man who can look at that impulse and not act on it is demonstrating a rare and powerful self-mastery. He isn't hiding his interest, he's in control of it. This silence also triggers a crazy psychological lever: scarcity. We are all wired to value things that are rare or hard to get. If you're always available, you're common. When your attention is a resource she has to earn, it becomes 1,000 times more valuable. A Playboy gets this. He delivers an amazing experience and then lets her mind do all the work, building him into a legend while he's gone. She replays the highlights from the date. She remembers the way you made her laugh, the crazy things you said. Your physical absence makes your mental presence explode. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about ignoring her. If she texts you first, you respond. But you do it with purpose, which we'll cover in a minute. This is about not initiating because you're anxious. It's about letting a day or two of quiet happen. That silence, coming from a guy who is confident and interesting, creates a powerful sense of intrigue. She starts to wonder if she's the one who needs to win him over. That one little shift is the foundation of all seduction. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Give yourself leisure to learn some good thing, and cease roving and wandering to and fro." After the date, your job isn't to wander back to your phone for validation. It's to get back to your life, your mission, to learning that good thing. This focus on your own world is what makes the silence so powerful. It's the difference between a house that's empty and a house where the lights are off because the owner is out doing something huge. One is empty, the other is mysterious. Be the man whose house is dark because he's out conquering his world. That's the art of the void. The second secret: value your purpose over her validation, the unshakable frame. This next secret is the engine that powers this entire strategy. Your life must have a purpose that is more important than any single woman. I'm not playing around. It has to be the fundamental truth of your existence. A man on a mission, a man building his empire, whether it's a business, an art form, or just his own body and mind, is playing on a completely different level. His self-worth comes from his actions, his progress, his own path. Marcus Aurelius nailed this when he'd tell himself every morning, "I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for?" Your purpose is what you were born for. A woman, no matter how incredible, is a welcome companion on that journey. She is not the journey itself. The man who forgets this makes her the destination, and the second he does that, he is already lost. Think about the insane energy this creates. When a woman meets a man who is genuinely obsessed with his goals, she feels it immediately. His conversations have weight. His time is valuable. He isn't looking for her to fill a void in his life. He's looking to see if she is a worthy addition to a life that's already amazing. This is the ultimate attractive frame. She feels like she has to qualify for his world, not the other way around. Playboys, without even realizing it, live this way. Their purpose might just seem like chasing pleasure, but it means their life is built around their own goals, not pleasing one person. The Stoic Playboy just makes this better. His purpose isn't just pleasure, it's growth. He wants excellence, not just a good time. This frame is your shield against post-date anxiety. When your identity is locked into your mission, an unanswered text is just a tiny piece of data, not a judgment on your worth. It doesn't throw you off because you're already aimed at a target 1,000,000 times bigger than a second date. You are busy. Not fake busy, where you pretend not to see her text, but genuinely, actually busy with things that matter to you. This is the difference between playing hard to get and being hard to get. The Stoics taught that we should find fulfillment in our own good actions. Your purpose is where you practice those virtues: discipline, creativity, courage. When a woman senses that this is where you get your validation, she understands, on a gut level, that you're a man of substance. You are not a leaf blown around by her approval. You are a tree, rooted in your own ground. So how do you get this? You find your mission. What is the hard thing you are willing to do? What skill do you want to master? What project do you want to build? Pour your energy into that. Let it consume you. When you've spent your day battling a tough problem or pushing your physical limits, the drama of dating shrinks down to its proper size. It becomes a part of your life, not the center of it. And when you finally do text her, this frame will be behind every single word. You won't ask weak questions like, "So, did you have fun?" You already know you showed her a good time. You don't need her to confirm it. You'll be direct and assume she's attracted. You might say, "I'm hitting that exhibition we talked about Thursday evening. Join me." It's the language of a man whose world is already in motion, inviting her for the ride. It's a declaration, not a request for permission. It's the language of a man who values his purpose more than her validation. And crazily enough, there is nothing a woman finds more attractive. The third secret: detach from the outcome, the power of indifference. The third secret is the absolute hardest to master, but it's the key that unlocks total mental freedom and an almost supernatural magnetism. It is the Stoic principle of detaching from the outcome. The philosopher Epictetus laid this out perfectly in something called the dichotomy of control. He taught that some things are in our control and some things are not. In our control are our own thoughts, judgments, and actions. Outside our control is basically everything else: her feelings, her response, whether she says yes to another date. Almost all dating anxiety comes from messing this up. The average guy ties his happiness to the outcome, the one thing he cannot control. He thinks, if she texts back, I'll feel good. If she says yes, it was a success. By doing this, he is literally handing her a remote control for his emotions. He becomes a puppet, and her validation is pulling the strings. The Stoic Playboy gets this. He lives it. His focus is only on what he can control, his own performance. He asks himself, was I present on the date? Was I a good listener? Did I lead with confidence? Was I my authentic self? Did I create a fun time? If the answer is yes, then in his mind, the date was a massive success, and no matter what happens next. This is a gigantic shift in perspective. Think of a Stoic archer. The archer can control his stance, his grip, his aim, the smoothness of his release. He can perfect his process, but he can't control a sudden gust of wind that might blow the arrow off course. The foolish archer cries about missing the target and gets frustrated, messing up his next shot. The Stoic archer judges himself on the quality of his shot, not where the arrow landed. He accepts the wind as part of the game and focuses on making his next shot even better. In dating, you are the archer. The date is your shot. Her response is the wind. Your job is to execute a perfect shot. Once the arrow leaves the bow, once the date is over, your work is done. You have to let go of where it lands. This detachment isn't apathy. You can still have a preference. The archer wants to hit the bullseye. You want to see her again, but your inner peace doesn't depend on it. This creates a state of engaged indifference. You're fully into the process, but indifferent to the result. This is unbelievably attractive. She'll sense that you're not trying to get something from her. You're just being you, and she's totally free to respond however she wants. That lack of pressure is freeing for her and lets real attraction grow. When you're detached, your communication is completely different. You stop texting to get confirmation. You text to make a statement. Instead of a needy, outcome-focused text like, "I had an amazing time. I'd love to do it again if you're interested," your text is simple and direct. "Enjoyed our conversation. I'm doing cool activity on day. Come along." The frame is, "This is happening. It will be great." Your presence would make it better, but its greatness doesn't depend on you. This mindset also makes you immune to rejection. If she says no or ghosts, it doesn't hurt your ego. Why? Because your ego wasn't tied to the outcome. It was tied to your actions, which you controlled. You just register the result, okay, not a match, and move on, with your self-worth 100% intact. That resilience is magnetic. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally unbreakable. It signals incredible inner strength. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." You receive the experience of the date without getting arrogant, and you let go of the outcome without making it a measure of your worth. You are free, and in that freedom, you become unbelievably desirable. The fourth secret: communicate with intent, not need, the language of kings. The fourth secret is where the philosophy gets super practical. It's how you actually break the postdate silence. It is the art of communicating with intent, not with need. The average guy's texts are just a chaotic mess of anxiety and hope. "Hey, what's up? Thinking about you." These messages have zero purpose other than to get a response, to get a tiny hit of validation. They are the language of the needy. The Stoic Playboy, locked into his purpose and detached from the outcome, communicates like a king. Every single message has a clear intent, either to build intrigue or to set up the next date. That is it. There's no wasted motion, no empty chatter. His words have weight because he uses them like they're precious and for a specific purpose. Seneca advised that our actions should be deliberate, not reactive. The same goes for our words. Before you hit send, ask yourself, what is the purpose of this message? Is it to add value, or is it to make myself feel less anxious? If it's the second one, put the phone down. So let's talk about the only two valid reasons to communicate. First, to build intrigue. This is not about having long, drawn-out text conversations. Texting is for logistics, not deep connection. Intrigue texts are short, sharp messages that spark the amazing feelings from the date and make her think. It's often a callback to an inside joke. For example, if you joked about her terrible taste in 90s pop music, a text a day or two later could be a picture of a Backstreet Boys album with the caption, "I'm legitimately concerned for you." It's playful, confident, assumes you're already on that level, and it doesn't ask for anything. It's a statement, not a question. It makes her smile and think of you, without any pressure. The second, and more common reason to text, is logistics. This is the art of setting up the next date. A man with purpose is decisive. He knows what he wants. His texts prove it. They are not vague suggestions like, "We should hang out again sometime." That is the weakest invitation ever and puts all the work on her. It signals you're passive. The language of a king is direct and assumes attraction. It leads. For example, that bookstore we talked about. "I'm going Thursday night around 7. Come with me." Notice the structure. It's not a question. It's a command, but a playful and inviting one. It sets the what, where, and when. It makes it unbelievably easy for her to say yes. All she has to do is show up. This shows leadership and respect for her time and yours. It says, "I have a cool life, and I'm inviting you to join me for a little bit." Contrast that with the needy approach. "Hey, hope you're having a good week. I was wondering if you might be free to get together again." The difference is night and day. One is the language of a man leading his life. The other is the language of a man asking for permission to have one. The Stoics valued clear, rational speech that reflected a clear, rational mind. When your mind is cluttered with neediness, your texts will be weak. When your mind is clear, purposeful, and self-reliant, your communication will be direct, effective, and powerful. Stop using your phone as a validation machine. Start using it as a logistical tool. That is the language of kings. The fifth secret, let her wonder, the veil of mystery. The final secret ties all the others together. It's understanding that attraction is not fueled by facts, but by mystery. The Stoic Playboy lets her wonder. He doesn't put all his cards on the table. He knows that the second she thinks she has him completely figured out, the thrill of the chase starts to die. Seduction is a gradual discovery, and he is the new territory she wants to explore. Most guys do the absolute opposite. To try and build connection, they overshare. On the first date or in texts, they unload their entire life story, their hopes, their fears. They think this vulnerability creates a bond. And while real vulnerability has its place way down the line in a relationship, dumping all your information up front is attraction poison. It destroys all the mystery. It's like reading the last page of a book first. Why would she even bother reading the story? The Stoic embraces a totally different path. This isn't about being fake or deceptive. It's about having such a rich inner world that you don't feel the need to broadcast it 24/7. A man who is at peace with himself, who has built his own inner kingdom, doesn't need everyone else's approval. He lets people discover his depths over time. He reveals himself in layers. After the first date, this guides everything. You do not need to text her how much you liked her. The fact that you're asking her out again is all she needs to know. You don't need to explain your entire life philosophy in a text. Let her discover it through your actions on the next date. When she asks you a question, you don't always have to give a straight answer. Be playful. Be a little evasive. If she asks, "What are you doing this weekend?" the average guy gives his full schedule. The Stoic Playboy might reply, "A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Probably getting into some light trouble." That answer is so much more intriguing. It hints at a life full of possibilities without spilling all the details. The picture it creates in her mind is way more exciting than laundry and meal prep. This mystery is also about emotional control. A guy who is an open book emotionally, super excited when things are good, super sad when they're not, is predictable. But a man who keeps a calm, cool demeanor no matter what is a puzzle. She can't quite read him. She is not 100% sure how much he's into her. That uncertainty is a powerful catalyst for attraction. The human brain is wired to solve puzzles and close open loops. When you are a puzzle, she will invest massive mental energy into figuring you out. That investment is the bedrock of her growing desire. Let her wonder what you're thinking. Let her wonder what you're doing. Let her wonder how you really feel about her. Your actions, asking her on another incredible date, will speak louder than any words ever could. Your silence, your purpose, your detachment, and your intentional communication all work together to create this veil of mystery. She knows you're interested, but she doesn't know how interested. She knows you're confident, but she doesn't know the full story. You become a man she wants to know more about, not a man who has already told her everything. And in the space of that wonder, her desire for you will explode. So there you have it. The 5 secrets of the Stoic Playboy. Master the silence. Value your purpose over her validation. Detach from the outcome. Communicate with intent. And let her wonder. You probably noticed the common thread here. None of this is really about her. It's about you. This is not a list of tricks to manipulate someone. It's a blueprint for building an unshakable inner fortress of self-worth, discipline, and purpose. The intense intrigue you create is just a byproduct. It's the natural result of a man who has mastered his own mind. The world tells you to chase, to perform, to beg for validation. But the ancient wisdom of the Stoics gives you another path. A path of inner control, quiet strength, and living a life so true to your own values that attraction just kind of happens. It's about stopping being the boy who nervously waits for a text and becoming the man who is too busy building his empire to worry about it. This is not a quick fix. It takes practice. It means facing your anxiety and your need for approval head-on. It means doing the hard work of finding your purpose and actually committing to it. But the reward is so much bigger than a second date. The reward is freedom. The freedom from emotional dependency. The freedom to deal with women from a place of real confidence and strength. You are the prize. Your attention is the reward. Your world is the one she should want to join. When you truly get that, not as some arrogant slogan, but as a deep, philosophical truth, everything changes. You stop playing the game, and you become the game. If this philosophy truly connects with you, let us know with a like, and consider subscribing to Stoic now to continue your path of self-mastery. Most importantly, if this message stirred something in you, leave your thoughts below. Your story might just light the way for someone else on this same journey.